I know that some people are like, oh, I love the idea of childhood friends to lovers, but it's like not them. Not them at all.
Yeah, I think with Laurie, there are a lot of things that people just ignore about his character. And we've talked about this before, like the catfishing and
Hmm.
the proposal and him threatening that he's going to hurt himself. And all these very disturbing red flags are there, but then they're not in the films, and most people don't know about them.
Yeah, it's amazing just how the media will change your perception of what a story is. Because I remember, I don't know if you maybe had seen it, but someone, I think it was either it was their own post or someone replied to a post I did, and they're like, after watching the 2019 movie, I was like, maybe I'll go read the book, and they were not just surprised but full blown shock
Mm.
to see that there was not even a hint of Joe and Laurie, and they were like, in a way, disappointed and like kind of really like upset that Gerwig would do that when like the book never did. So it's amazing. So yeah, it's amazing how like how media slash movies and whatnot will change how we perceive how the story should be, because that's not how it went at all.
Somebody commented quite recently that Gerwig cared more about her actors than the book itself, and I think that could be true. I think it's also a problem in the 1994 film and maybe the 1949 film. So she just continued this long tradition of romanticizing Laurie. There's no excuses for that.
No, not at all. And this is not like, I think in general Laurie is a good character, but it takes him a while to get to be a great character. But they all got flaws, but he just seems to be the one that really is like stand out, and to the point of like, okay, that's very problematic, dude. During this day and age, if you did at least one of those things that Laurie did, a girl would be like, just dump him, girl. Don't even bother, But yeah, like I said, they don't put focus on that, and I think it's a shame, because when he does propose to Joe, and I do have a little thing I want to mention about that. I'll get to that in a moment. When they portray his like heartbreak, it's like, oh, poor Laurie, but it's like, no, it's not really poor Laurie, because you've had so many signs leading up to Joe being like, I can't or I won't, because you clearly didn't get the hints before. And that was what I was going to say, is that I hate when the movies do the proposal before New York, because it seems like she's just trying to like walk away from like heartbreak, or like, oh, I can't watch poor Laurie be sad. And it's like, no, she left before proposal happens, because she...
Sponsor of this episode is Etsy. On Etsy, you can start your own shop and reach their millions of customers. With the link in the description, you can add your first 40 listings for free. Our second sponsor is bookshop.org. Bookshop.org works to connect readers with independent booksellers all over the world. They believe local bookstores are essential community hubs that foster culture, curiosity, and love for reading, and are committed to helping them thrive. Every purchase on the site financially supports independent bookstores. The platform gives independent bookstores tools to complete online and financial support to help them maintain their presence in local communities. You can find the link from the description as well.
Wants to get away from him, so that way he can be like, all right, just take time, try to, maybe after some time away, you can figure out that you don't really care for me as much as you think you do. And that's why when she comes back, she's just like, you know what, I'm done. Yeah, I don't like it when the movies kind of switch it, because I feel like it does it almost in a way to be more sympathetic to Laurie rather than sympathetic to Joe.
Was that the same in the 2017 series?
I think that's probably the only version that I can think of that actually did it the right way.
Yeah. He proposed to her after she came back from New York. Yeah. I still think he was very romanticized in that version as well.
And it's so important that it happens after New York, because, again, it's one of those moments where it's sort of like you sort of have an inkling that maybe she has a lot more feelings for him than you think she does. But the other version that actually does it correctly is the BBC version, the 1971, because in both of those versions, they both say, like, you know, oh, don't tell me you fell for that old man. And it's like, that's such an important moment, because it's Joe standing up for Friedrich and saying, like, don't talk about him like that, and like getting that sort of like first inkling that maybe she has a lot more feelings for Friedrich than you would think she does.